Hello lovely people and welcome to today's video. I'm going to be reviewing the first 5 kind of novels, although there's a couple of graphic novels in there too, books that I read during April. I think this is going to amount to probably just over 10 books. I'm splitting it into 2 parts, part 1, part 2, but I do have separate videos coming out for all the children's picture books that I have read over the last couple of months as well. So yeah, this is going to be the first 5 kind of like main books, stories, that sort of thing, that I read during the month. So we're going to start off with Homebody, which was one of the books that I didn't manage to get to for the Trans Rights Readathon. So Homebody is by Theo Parrish. It's an autobiography and a graphic novel, and Parrish takes readers through a heart-lifting story of discovering what it means to live life on your own terms and what it means to feel at home in the world and within your body. I gave this one a 5 out of 5 stars. I thought Theo's story in discovering their identity was so inspiring, and the illustrations that they used to help articulate what they were expressing was beautifully drawn. The soft pastels and fluid drawing style was particularly dreamy. It was very reminiscent, I would say, in like colour palette to the Sad Ghost Club and Heartstopper. The soft tones were incredibly complementary to the affirming quality of Theo's story, and I loved the overall atmosphere of the palette. It was a beautiful kind of coming of age autobiographical graphic novel version of life, basically. After that, I read a book that I'd hoped I would love so much more than I did, and I listened to this via audiobook, and it's Honeysuckle and Bone. I forget the author's name off the top of my head. This is a YA contemporary gothic ghost story where even paradise is haunted. After a tragedy rips her life apart, Karina Marshall is looking to reinvent herself in her mother's homeland of Jamaica, with her new gig as an au pair for the wealthy and powerful Hall family at Blackbeard House. However, Karina isn't who she says she is, and Blackbeard House already knows. So this is one that I gave her 2 stars, and on the atmosphere and the tension that was kind of being promised and just the general like vibe of the blurb, I really thought I was going to at least give it like a 3.5 or 4 stars. I thought I'd really love it, but unfortunately I just struggled to connect with it all. I thought a haunting story set in Jamaica would be right up my street, and was hoping for some kind of like Haunting of Hill House, the TV show version, because I've not read the book, in terms of vibes, but I didn't really care for the story or characters. And I feel like with the Haunting of Hill House, even though that might not have been what the author was going for, that was just all about characters and plot, and you felt this deep connection. I just didn't really get that in this. I found Karina as well as a main character to be really annoying, and as our sole POV, that probably added to the like overall discomfort of reading. The setting itself though, in hot sweltering Jamaica, was great, and I did like that the ambience of the ghost story with this snotty rich family, it was just an interesting kind of quirk to the story, but I just felt like there was more to give, unfortunately. I would probably try more from this author. I wouldn't rule it out entirely, because I really generally like the writing style, the kind of setting that she puts out for her story, but the characters need work, and for me a lot of the time I need to latch onto a character. Next up, I read Overlord by Elle McInerney. I really hope I've pronounced the surname correctly. I apologise if I have mispronounced it. This is the prequel to the Unraveling series, book 1 being Soul Stealer. I heard about this through TikTok, and the author was doing an opportunity for like opening arcs, so I signed up for that. So we're following young mage Gideon, who has spent 10 years hiding from the mysterious woman who murdered his mother when he was but a child. He lives as a peddler, and he basically travels from town to town with his dad, never really having any friends, never settling down, and never really knowing what it is to have a home. But when the town that he's currently trading in is attacked by raiders, he accidentally blows his cover and must go on the run, leaving his father behind, not knowing for sure if he is alive or dead. This one I gave a 3 stars, and of course I want to thank the author for adding me on to the ARC readers list. Very appreciative of that. This was a really entertaining adventure of a young boy just trying to find his place in the world, yet being controlled physically and or emotionally, depending on the circumstance, at every avenue. It seemed it was so much darker than I was expecting. And that was an aspect that I personally really enjoyed. It was giving like grim dark in terms of atmosphere and writing style, and it added to this coming of age experience explored through Gideon, which was darker and grittier, and I really enjoyed that aspect of it. I did, however, struggle unfortunately with this one due to really, again, disliking our main character, Gideon. He just felt so irritating and irrational in how he took in emotion, which I guess is a quirk of, you know, being controlled and lied to for so long, and also never really settling or having a place called home. Like, how is he able to build within himself like stable, steady, emotional responses? But, you know, to read on the page, it kind of translated as being a bit tedious, repetitive. Whenever Gideon was up against hardship, it just felt like there was no internal, like, mental growth there. I did, however, really like the side characters, particularly in Nessa, and I thought Thane, although I really disliked him as a character, like, he was a necessary dislikable character. I thought he was really important, though due to him feeling very important and liking to dislike him, I was a bit disappointed when that thread kind of siphoned off as the story developed. The lore of the magic system, the wars, the different people in the world as a whole really interested me immensely, and I really liked that we got to explore that in various side characters and places. For example, like their time in the Spire, or journeying like even through like the storytelling of other characters that Gideon meets, or physically going there himself. I really enjoyed how the map of this world was kind of built up in that way. The pacing was quick and breezy to get through, additionally helped by the chapters feeling shorter and very Moorish in its content. I would say the story overall was really easy to sink my teeth into, and I probably at one point will go into the main bulk of the series, starting with book 1, Soul Stealer. Okay, moving on to a graphic novel. I think the last 2 books actually are graphic novels, and this one was the 3rd book in Rick Riordan's The Percy Jackson series. This one was The Titan's Curse, and I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. I've been rereading the Percy Jackson books through the graphic novel versions, and I thought that this one was a brilliant adaptation. I feel like these are getting better in terms of storytelling and like the way they're adapting it as they go along, and for the most part I'd actually completely forgotten what had happened in this 3rd installment, so it was such a treat to see through fresh eyes and like a different format. I just really enjoyed the way that I'm reading it currently. I will say though that the art style doesn't seem consistent throughout the actual book itself, and the character design is a bit heavy-handed for my preference, but overall it's always fun reading a Rick Riordan story. And to finish up today's video, I've got Amulet Volume 1, The Stonekeeper by Kazuo Kibushi. And this follows a pair of siblings after the tragic death of their father. Emily and Navin move with their mother to the home of her deceased great-grandfather, but the strange house proves to be dangerous. Before long, a sinister creature lures the kids' mum through a door in the basement, and of course their curiosity and fear leads them also through that door. This one I gave a 4 out of 5 stars, and I've had this series on a little like Goodreads shelf that I've had for years called The Next 5 to Buy. I never did buy it, but I did get it courtesy from the library, so that's great. This was more than I was expecting actually. It was so emotionally driven. It was a magical story. I love that we have this like chosen one elements that built up into that true destined one trope. The whole drive is family and mystery, and I really enjoyed those themes being explored in book 1. I thought it was done really well. I thought it started off really powerfully. I wasn't expecting so much trauma to be included in this book, but I think it was handled well. I'm not sure how a younger, like the target audience demographic would view it though, so obviously that's to be up in the air, I don't know. The illustrations of the character designs weren't my particular favourite, but I appreciated the simplistic style as I felt like it made room for the more stunning detail in the scenery design and the illustrations kind of behind the characters and showcased the colours beautifully. I am intrigued to learn more about the mystery of the amulet itself, obviously the title, the series, and also wonder who the voice is, and how the siblings will work through their grief, both separately and together. I thought it was a great solid start to a series. So that is it for today's part 1, at least, of April's books. Let me know what you guys have been reading. As always, I would love to hear. But for now, thank you so much for watching. I shall catch you in another video soon. Bye.